Here we are in this moment, in this aspect of peace, in this aspect of consciousness, in this aspect of recognizing ourselves as true and divine and peaceful and loving and kind. And everything we are doing in this moment is true and divine and peaceful and loving and kind. So I welcome you in. I welcome you into this space of truth. I welcome you into this space of peace. I welcome you into this space of divinity. I welcome you into this space of knowingness. Right? The kindness that is within us is the kindness that lets us rest in the consciousness of grace and truth and peace. The kindness that is within us is the kindness that lets us rest in the consciousness of knowing everything as divine. Here now, in this moment of peace, in this moment of truth, in this moment of divinity, I welcome you into your true space of consciousness and peace. I welcome you into your own divinity within your own being, consciousness and grace. I welcome you into the space of knowingness, into the space of truth, and into the space of divinity within our own being. I know that you are divine. I know that you are conscious. I know that you are awake. I know that you are aware. I know that you are receiving God's grace into your being as we speak the words of consciousness and grace in this moment of peace. I know that as you see yourself as the consciousness of all things, that you are receiving God's grace into your being here now in this moment of peace. I know that as you aspect yourself into consciousness as the grace and as the truth of all things, that we have come here to become God's grace in this moment of peace, truth, and divinity. Where are we going with this grace? Where are we going with this peace? Where are we going with this truth? Have we delved into God's consciousness in a way to say, I am here, I am divine, I am truthful, I am loving, I am peaceful, I am kind? Do I know myself as the divine being that I came here to be? Do I know myself as the consciousness, as the grace, as the truth, as the energy of God's grace coming through me now? Do I know myself as the expansion of God's consciousness within me, into the world around me, into the things that I am seeing, into the things that I am doing, into the world as consciousness and grace? Do I know myself as this peace now in this moment? Do I know myself as this piece of God's consciousness and God's grace? Do I know myself as the one that I came here to be? Do I know myself as the consciousness of all things? Is your awakeness, is your awareness, is your consciousness giving you everything you need in this moment? Is your awakeness, is your awareness, is your consciousness giving you everything that you need in this moment? Are you awake and aware to the consciousness of all things in this moment? Have you seen yourself as graceful and kind and loving and peaceful in this moment? Have you seen yourself as knowing yourself as divine in this moment and all moments that exist on this earth plane? When we are here in this moment of grace, when we are here in this moment of peace, when we are here in this moment of truth, what can we be other than kind, loving, and divine? What can we be other than the true self of our own beingness within our own being? Are we consciously alive right now, here in this earth plane? Are we consciously alive? And when we're consciously alive, do we deceive ourselves into thinking that we are other than who we truly are? When we are consciously alive, do we deceive ourselves into believing that we are other than who we truly are? No. Why would we deceive ourselves into thinking that we are other than who we truly are? Do you see that your consciousness and your grace rests within you as all things kind, as all things divine, as all things true, as all things peaceful, as all things loving? We know that our grace is within us as the consciousness of all things. We know that the aspect of consciousness that comes through us, around us, within us, is God's energy of grace. So allow yourself to feel that energy deeply, deeply, deeply within your own being. Allow yourself to feel that energy of consciousness deeply, deeply, deeply within your own being. And as you aspect yourself into consciousness as the grace of your own being, see that the things around you are also wanting to be consciousness and grace and truth and peace. See that the things around you are also wanting to be the grace of God's divinity in all things. We are that grace, we are that truth, we are that peace, we are consciousness. We have felt God's divinity in us as us. So seek the divinity within you and consciously allow your divinity to become who you are now on this earth plane. We have aspected ourselves into consciousness as that truth, as that grace, and as that peace. Become that energy of grace now. Become that energy of consciousness now. Become that seeing, right? We know that we are the grace and the consciousness and the divinity. We know that we are the peace, the truth, and the energy of all things. We know that we have come here to see ourselves as that consciousness within all things. We know that we have come here to be divine in all things. So expect yourself to be divine right now. Expect yourself to be pure. Expect yourself to be true. Expect yourself to be this one that you are already. Now I ask you a question. Do you dwell in the consciousness of grace in your body in a way that allows you to be free? Do you dwell in the consciousness of grace in your body in a way that allows you to be free? Contemplate the question deep within your being. Do you dwell in this consciousness of grace in your body in a way that allows you to be free? Contemplate the question deep within your being. Do you dwell in the consciousness of grace in your body in a way that allows you to be free? We are the consciousness of grace. We are the energy of God's manifestation of peace. Allow yourself to feel that energy deep, deep, deep within your own being. Allow yourself to know yourself as the divinity of all things deep, deep, deep within your own being. So consciousness is arriving right here, right now, in this moment, allowing you to see the consciousness of grace within your own being. So aspect yourself into the consciousness with your own grace, with your own energy, with your own peace. And now we ask ourselves the question, can we go deeper into this space of peace, of love, of truth, of energy, of consciousness, of kindness, and of grace? Are we allowing ourselves to see that God's consciousness is in this body, this divine body that we have come here on this earth plane to be received by, right? So we've been received by this body. We've allowed ourselves to be received by this body. This body is generous and kind and giving and truthful and fearless. This body will give us the energy of God's grace, the energy of God's consciousness, and the energy of God's bliss. This body will give us the energy of knowing ourselves as divine. This body will give us the consciousness, the grace, the truth, the energy, the awakening, right, that we are receiving now. Coming through this body is the awakening of the energy of God's grace. Coming through this body is the awakening of the energy of God's truth. Coming through this body is the awakening of the energy of our consciousness and our grace. Allow yourself to feel yourself deep within your own beingness, within your own consciousness within your own truth. Feel your body surrounding the energy of grace that is you. Feel your body surrounding the energy of consciousness that is true within you now. Feel your body becoming grace, becoming truth, becoming peace, becoming divine. Feel your body awakening to God's grace within you now. Feel your body awakening to the consciousness of all things. Feel your body becoming divine in this moment of truth and consciousness and grace. Feel your body awakening to the consciousness of all things now. Feel your body awakening to the consciousness of grace within you now. Feel your body knowing itself as divine. Feel your body becoming alive in this moment of peace. Feel your body knowing you as the divine consciousness of all things. Feel your body awakening into the divine consciousness of grace that you are right now, right here in this moment of peace. We are divine. I am awake, I am aware, I am conscious, I am truthful, I am divine, I am loving, I am freeing myself from any past regrets that I have had about my body. I am freeing myself from any past negotiations I have done with God about my body. I am freeing myself of any past conditions that my body has accumulated or acquired. I am freeing myself of any past assignments I have given to my body. I am freeing myself of any past acknowledgements of less than truth within my body. I am freeing myself of any conditions or requirements I have given my body on this earth plane. I am freeing myself into the grace, into the God's consciousness and truth. I am freeing myself to be superbly aware of my consciousness dwelling in this body right now. This body is awake, this body is aware, this body is divine, this body is conscious, this body is feeling the energy of God's grace awakening within it as we speak into the consciousness of the grace of all things. This body is awake, this body is aware, this body is divine, this body is powerful, this body is peaceful. This body is truthful. Allow your body to receive the grace of God's energy within you right now. Allow this body to receive the grace of God's consciousness within you right now. Allow this body to awaken to the divinity, to the truth, to the energy, to the consciousness within you right now. Allow this body to awaken to the feelings of grace, of consciousness, of truth within your being right now. Allow this body to awaken to the energy, to the consciousness, to the truth within your being right now. Allow this body to awaken to the truth, to the energy, to the consciousness of grace within this being right now. Allow this body to become aware, to become truthful, to become divine, to become peaceful, to become loving. Allow this body to awaken to the divine consciousness within all things. Allow this body to feel the grace, to feel the truth, to feel the peace, to feel the energy of consciousness within its own beingness right now. Allow this body to become divine in the truth of all things. Allow this body to become awake and aware. We are divine, we are conscious, we are loving, we are truthful, we are peaceful, we are kind. This body is awake and aware to the consciousness, to the grace, to the truth of all things. This body is awake and aware to the grace, to the truth, to the consciousness of all things. This body will reveal itself as a vessel for change, as a vessel for peace, as a vessel for love, as a vessel for awakening. This body will reveal itself as a vessel for all the knowingness, all the consciousness, all the grace that we are aware of right here now in this moment. This body will become everything that we need it to be. This body will become everything that we want to see. This body will become everything that we are aware of in the truth and the peace and the love and the grace of this moment right here, right now. This body is encompassing all grace, all truth, all peace, all love right here, right now. This body is becoming everything that it is in this moment of peace right now. This body is awakening and aware and truthful and kind and loving and awake and aware and truthful and kind and loving and awake and aware and truthful and kind and loving. This body is becoming becoming all the grace that we are in this moment of peace. This body is becoming the consciousness, the grace, the truth, the everything that we are already. We know this body is graceful. We know this body is kind. We know this body is loving. We know this body is divine. Allow this body to awaken to you, to the consciousness, to the grace, to the truth of your being. Allow this body to consciously awaken. Allow this body to consciously be aware. Allow this body to consciously conceive of yourself as divine energy and grace and truth in everything we are doing. Allow this body to be awake. Why do we consciously conceive of this body as a divine being on this dwelling place of this earth now? Why do we consciously conceive of this body as a divine being, as a divine vessel? Why do we consciously conceive of this body as a peaceful, energetic awakening within our own understanding now? Why do we consciously conceive of this body as being and becoming all that we are on this earth plane now? Why do we conceive of this body? Because this body is divine. This body has given us everything that we have here on this earth plane. This body has given us everything that we know. This body has given us the awakening, the awareness, the truth, the consciousness, the peace, the love that we are. This body has given us the truth of our energetic consciousness within our own being. This body is awake and aware to our own consciousness, to our own beingness, to our own truth, to our own divinity now. This body will give you everything you need, awake and aware and truthful and kind and loving. Allow this body to become what it needs to be now. Allow this body to become what it needs to be now. Allow this body to become what it needs to be now. Allow this body to become what it needs to be now. Allow this body to awaken to the grace, to the truth, to the peace of all things. Allow this body to awaken to the grace, to the truth, to the peace of all things. Allow this body to awaken to the grace, to the truth, to the peace of all things. Allow this body to awaken now into your beingness, into your kindness, into your grace, into your truth, into your peace. Allow this body to awaken. We are the awakening energy of consciousness within our own being. We are awakening now into the consciousness of grace and truth and all things. We are the body of consciousness. We are the body of grace. We are the body of truth. We are the body of grace awakening within our own being right now. Allow your body to see consciousness, grace, truth, and divinity within your own being. Allow this body to be received by grace. Allow this body to be received by truth. Allow this body to be received by grace. We are that grace. We are that grace. We are that grace. The consciousness of truth, the consciousness of peace, the consciousness of divinity that dwells within you right now is this body of change. We've conceived this body to become the changeless beings that we are within our inner truth, within our inner self, within our inner beingness. We have conceived this body to become the changeless inner divine truth that we are. So this body may change, this body may conceive of different ideas on this earth plane, this body may conceive of different concepts or values, but we see within our own beingness the changeless, evolving self of our own true self that never is, never has been, never will be different from who we truly are within our own conscious self. Our own conscious belief system is God's grace within our own being. Allow this body to be the grace of our own true self. Allow this body to be the grace of our own true divinity. Allow this body to be the grace of our own true essence within our own true being. We can allow this body to be pure. We can allow this body to be divine. We can allow this body to be all awesomely aware of everything that's going on around us. We can allow this body to become all alive and energetic and graceful and peaceful and loving and kind. We can allow this body to become everything that it is here on this earth plane. So consciously allow your body to become whole. Consciously allow your body to become free. Consciously allow your body to become the divinity of all things. Consciously allow your body to seek the truth of God's divinity within you now. Go deeper into your own self. Go deeper into your own self and feel the body of consciousness within your being. Go deeper into your own true self. Do you feel an ache? Do you feel a hurt? Do you feel a pain? Go deeper into your own true self. See that ache, see that hurt, see that pain as something being released in God's grace and God's energy and God's peace. Feel that ache, feel that divinity within you, right? The ache is the divinity is the peace is the truth. Go deeper into it. Feel it more deeply, know it more deeply, right? Aspect it into consciousness in a divine way. So we feel an ache, we feel a divine ache within our being. What is the ache? The ache is the knowingness to know God's truth, to know God's peace, to know God's divinity within us now. Feel that ache within your being. Allow it to manifest in God's grace and God's truth and in God's peace. Allow that ache to become you as you become the grace of all things. We are the consciousness of all things. So go deeper into those pains, those aches, those divinely given, graceful, energetic concepts within our beings that have said we are not who we truly are, but they are now divinely aspecting us into our true self, into our true self, into our true self. We are the divinity of all things. Go deeper into that pain within your body, into that ache within your body, into that consciousness of knowing that the body is not pure in this moment. Why would we consciously conceive of an idea that the body is not pure in this moment, right? Why would we consciously conceive of an idea that the body is not pure in this moment? Go into those concepts, go into those ideas. Right? The fake reasoning with ourselves that the body is not pure, that there's something wrong with the body, that the body has seen grace differently than we have seen grace. No, it's not true. The body is the pureness, the body is the essence, the body is the consciousness, the body is the grace. Go into those concepts that say, I am not pure in this body. Go into those concepts that say, I am not divine in this body. Go into those concepts that say, I am not the pureness of my own being now here in this grace of truth. If you feel a pain, if you feel an ache, go into that energy of peace within you now. See it, feel it, and right now, ask it to be divine. Ask it to be divine. Can you be divine? Because you are divine. You are divine. You are truthful. You are conscious. You are peaceful. You are loving, and you are kind. Can you be divine? I am divine. We are divine. We are peaceful. We are conscious. We are loving. What is that ache? What is that ache within you? Is it an ache to know consciousness? Is it an ache to know God? Is it an ache to know all the things that are within you already as the consciousness and grace and truth of all things? What is that ache? I ache to know God within my own being, right? I perceive God within my own being, and now I perceive God more deeply. I go into those aches, I go into those pains, I go into those conscious moments of grace within my own being, and I say, I ache to know God, right? I ache to know God, and God is myself, and God is my own divinity. And I ache to know God, and I now receive the grace of God's energy within me. I now receive the grace of God's truth guiding me into God's peace in every moment. I now receive God's grace into me right here, right now, in this moment of truth, peace, divine love, consciousness, and grace. I am going into those parts of my body that feel less than divine. I am going into those parts of my body that feel less than divine. I am traveling deeply into those parts of my body that feel less than divine. I am traveling deeply and consciously into those parts of my body that feel less than divine. And I'm allowing those parts of my body to be divine now. I am allowing those parts of my body to be divine now. They are perfect, they are conscious, they are aware, they are truthful, and they are loving, and they are kind. I'm allowing those parts of my body to be divine now. I'm allowing those parts of my body to be divine now. I'm allowing those parts of my body to explode into consciousness, light, truth, love, and divinity now. I'm allowing those parts of my body to explode in the consciousness of grace and the truth of all things right now. I'm allowing those parts of my body to be received into grace, into consciousness, into truth right now. I'm allowing myself to be seen as the truth, as the consciousness, as the divinity of all things. I'm allowing this body to be seen as the grace, as the truth, as the consciousness of all things. I am allowing my body to be seen in the grace and the truth and the consciousness of all things. I am allowing my body to be seen in the grace and the truth and the consciousness of all things. I am allowing my body to be heard by God's grace. I am allowing my body to be felt by God's energy. I am allowing my body to be seen by the energy, by the grace, by the truth of all things. I am allowing my body to know me as me in the consciousness and grace and truth of all things. I am the divine body that is God's consciousness and God's grace. I am the divine body that is God's consciousness and God's grace. I am the divine body that will take me into all knowingness, all peace, all truth, all light. Now I am aware of my body. I am conscious of my body. I am truthful within my body. Am I not? I am seeing my body as divine. I am seeing my body as conscious. I am seeing my body as alive. I am seeing my body as aware. Explode your body into grace, into consciousness, into the truth of all things. Allow your body to be seen as divine consciousness, as divine truth, and as divine grace. Allow your body to begin to see you as the consciousness of all things. We are the grace. We are the truth. We are the peace. Our bodies will be alive in this grace, in this truth, in this peace. Our bodies will be alive in this moment of grace as we aspect ourselves into consciousness as the grace, as the truth of all things. Our body is alive. Our body is divine. Our body is peaceful. Our body is pure. Our body is divine. Allow it to become divine right now, right here in this moment. Aspect yourself into consciousness as grace, as the truth of all things. This body will expand into consciousness with you. It is not separate from you. This body is you. This body is the divinity of all things. This body is consciousness, and this body is grace. We are arriving into this moment right now of truth, peace, love, grace, and divinity. This body is your consciousness. This body is your truth. This body is your grace. This body is your divinity. Like the body, love the body, know the body, feel the body, expect the body to be divine. The body is graceful, the body is truthful, the body is kind, the body is loving, the body is the grace, the consciousness, and the truth of all things. The body is awakening to our own true consciousness right now in grace. The body is awakening to the awareness that all we need to know is God's grace within our being right now, and all things, all we need to know is God's consciousness, is God's grace, is God's truth within our being right now. All we need to know is that the body is the consciousness, is the truth, is the grace, is the peace, peace of all things right now. All we need to know is that the body is conscious, is divine, is loving, and is kind. All we need to know is that the body will aspect itself into consciousness as grace, truth, peace, love, and understanding. All we need to know is that this body is pure. This body is divine. This body is peaceful. This body is loving. You can expect yourself to be divine, peaceful, loving, pure. All right? Allow your body to be divine. Allow it to aspect itself into consciousness as the truth of all things. We are divine. We are truthful. We are kind. We are loving. Expect your body to be pure right here, right now in this moment. Expect your body to be divine right here, right now in this moment. Expect your body to be the consciousness of grace right here, right now in this moment. Allow your body to be divine within your truth of consciousness and peace right now. Allow your body to be divine within the consciousness of God's grace right now. Allow your body to expect you, right, to be consciousness divine. Allow you to feel you within you as you, right? We are conscious, we are alive, we are loving. So the body is now done with its process of change, right? It has become whole, it has become pure, it has become peaceful, it has become kind. The body is now done, right, with this process of change. Allow it to become whole, allow it to become pure, allow it to become peaceful, allow it to become kind, right? The body is now done with its process of change. We've allowed it to become divine, we've allowed it to become pure, we've allowed it to become conscious, we've allowed it to become divine. We are just the energy of God's consciousness, that's all we are. We are just the energy of God's consciousness, that's all we are. We seek and we see everything within us, and the body is the divine essence of all things. The body is the truth of our knowingness. The body is the truth of our peace. We are conscious, we are divine, we are loving. We can aspect ourselves into consciousness in the way that we've seen ourselves in consciousness today. So allow yourself to see yourself in this grace, in this truth, in this peace, in this divinity of oneness. The oneness that we are is the oneness of all things. The body that we see right now, right? This body that we're looking at, this body that we're conscious of, this body that we're aware of, this body, it's divine, it's conscious, it's truthful, it's peaceful, it's loving, it's kind. This body, allow it now to be you as you are the consciousness in all things. This body, allow it now to be you as you are the consciousness, the grace, and the truth of all things. This body is awakening, this body is aware, this body is pure, this body is kind, this body is loving, this body is graceful, this body is peaceful, this body is pure. We are conscious, we are divine, we are loving, we are kind. We love this body. This body awakens us to the consciousness of all things. We love this body. This body gives us the consciousness, the grace, the truth of our own being. We love this body. This body is the grace. I love my body. I love my body, I love my body, I love my body. I love the consciousness, the grace, the truth, the peace, the energy within me. I love the consciousness, the grace, the truth, the energy within me. I love this body that I've conceived right now on this earth plane. I love this body that I've conceived right now on this earth plane. I love this body that I'm giving grace to in every moment of every day. I love this body in the purity of its essence and its truth and its peace and its love. I love this body because this body is all things divine. Right here, right now, in this peace and this grace and this truth. I love my body. My body is divine. My body is peaceful. My body is kind. I love my body. I am here now in grace, peace, truth, love, energetic awakening, conscious understanding. We are that. We are that. That's all. We love you. We are you. We become you. We know you. Allow your body now to be free in the consciousness of grace and truth and peace. We are one. We are divine. We are truthful and we are kind. Shayata. Mata kaliya putotanaka. Ishtavakarana kalaputokurutani apataya takurutanaka le kurmatakareshivakarana kalapututayanaraka Yerokurutana kalaputokurushivaya kanaka Irana kalaputokurutana kalayato kurutana kalabeshivakaravanda kalayatata kurmata kalabeshivakaravanda kiyato kurutinyata karakiyata Yamoto la karanya kurubashiva shiva shiva karana kalabiti kirani ki kalikamata Yodoto tala moto karisha shiva shiva karamato lehe mota karaita karana karapachia tayo kurutana karakli le gonmata karapate ro tayanaki aranda kalapato kurusha karamata ya takru ale moto kulai mo papa kalamoto kurveshiva shiva shiva kalamatura yata leke mama Yero kurutana kalabetigiria no kalabategiria takurutaya takalavishiva gramati alamakrobati jay kamanta kalabetigia na kalabeti kalagiato.
Love is all you ever need.